Chapter 22. The chapter about the Underworld. The fate of those who speak falsely. The wandering nun Sundari was used to try and set up the Buddha and the Sangha, and then murdered by the sectarians. When people started falsely accusing the Sangha members of her murder, the Buddha taught the monastics to recite this verse, and soon the matter was settled and the truth was revealed. 306. The one who speaks falsely goes to the underworld, and he who says, "I did not do," what he has done, both of these are just the same when they have gone to the hereafter. They are humans who did base deeds. The wicked have a bad destination. Venerable Moggallana saw a spirit dressed as a monk flying through the air with body all on fire and reported it to the Buddha, who told that previously the spirit had been a monk under Buddha Kassapa and had not lived accordingly. And then he spoke this verse. 307. Many, wearing the rope around their necks, are wicked, unrestrained. The wicked, through their wicked deeds, re-arise in the underworld. Taking alms food unworthily. The Vaggamundātariya monks went around praising each other and saying they had attained states they had not in order to get better alms food. The Buddha restrained those monks and spoke this verse. 308. It's better to eat a glowing iron ball, like a flame of fire, than that the monastic, who is unrestrained and unvirtuous, should enjoy the country's alms food. One should not dally with other men's wives. One of the merchant Anathapindika's nephews, Khema, was so handsome all the women fell in love with him, and he was frequently caught in adultery. The king didn't punish Khema due to his affection for his uncle. So Anathapindika took his nephew to the Buddha, who taught him in these verses the destiny of those who dally with other men's wives. 309. There are 4 states the man who is heedless, the man who consort with other men's wives, undergoes: demerit, a rough bed, blame, and rebirth in the underworld as fourth. 310. Gaining demerit, a bad destiny, and only the very small delight of a scared man with a scared woman, and kings who apply heavy punishment. A man should not consort with another man's wife. A monastic should not be lax. A monk broke off the tip of a blade of grass and was worried whether he had broken a rule. So he asked another monk, who told him it was no account as he could confess his fault. And to emphasize this point, he broke off a clump of grass. The Buddha strongly rebuked them both with these verses. 311. As jagged grass, wrongly grasped, cuts into the hand, so does the ascetic life, wrongly grasped, drag one down to the underworld. 312. Whatever lax deed there is, and that vow which is defiled, know that a holy life that is doubtful does not have great fruit for that one. 313. If he would do what should be done, he should be firm in his effort, for the wanderer who is lax spreads a lot of impurity. Do what is well done. A jealous woman found out her husband had been unfaithful with one of their female slaves and had her nose and ears cut off, threw her into a dungeon, and then went to listen to the Dhamma. One of her relatives discovered the matter and informed the Buddha, who gave the teaching in this verse. 314. Better undone is wrongdoing. Wrongdoing one later regrets. Better done is what is well done, which, when done, one does not regret. Watch over oneself carefully. Some monks spent the rains retreat in the border country, but after some time the village was attacked and the inhabitants had to spend all their time reinforcing the village and did not look after the monks well. Later, they reported the matter to the Buddha, who taught them with this verse. 315. As a border town is guarded on the inside and the outside, so one should watch over oneself and should not let the moment pass. For when the chance has passed, they grieve, when consigned to the underworld. Wrong views lead to a bad destiny. Some monks saw the Nigandas and spoke of them as having some modesty, as they wear a small covering at the front. The Nigandas, however, declared they do so not out of modesty, but to protect the lives of dust beings. When reported to the Buddha, he spoke this verse about them. 316. Ashamed of what is not shameful, not ashamed of what is shameful. Undertaking wrong views, beings will go to a bad destiny. 317. Seeing fear in what's not fearful, not seeing fear in what's fearful. Undertaking wrong views, beings will go to a bad destiny. Knowing what is blamable and blameless. Some children of the families of unbelievers were forbidden to go to Jetavana. But when thirst overtook them one day, they went anyway. The Buddha gave them an appropriate teaching, and they converted. Later, they went to the monastery to ordain, and the Buddha taught them with these verses. 318. Finding blame in what is blameless, not seeing blame in what is blamed. Undertaking wrong views, beings will go to a bad destiny. 319. Knowing blame in the blamable, and no blame in what is blameless. Undertaking right views, beings will go to a good destiny.